Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Mindful Monday. If it's your first time here, feel free to type where you're coming from in the chat comments section. If you have any questions, you can either direct message me or type it in the comments, whether you're watching live or one of the replays. Perfectly fine. We'll look at all the comments and questions, etc. Also, if it is your first time and you'd like to get involved and get the PDF cheat sheets, which are kind of a printout of what we cover each week, they come out the following Sunday, so this week's will be next Sunday. You would get a PDF newsletter cheat sheet at 6:45 p.m. If you want to be involved in that, simply type mindful or direct message me mindful in the chat, and then you'll just follow the links to get involved. Totally free. All right. So today we're here to talk about mirror work and how that can help us to step into self-love and confidence. So you might be asking, well, what is mirror work? So mirror work is a technique that was developed by Louise Hay. She's since passed, but she developed Hay House Productions, and they do all kinds of work for healings, etc., meditation stuff like that is on there. Both print work and some meditation videos too. So mirror work was developed, as I said, by Louise Hay, and it involves gazing at oneself in the mirror for a set period of time and saying an affirmation or two, or perhaps moving into some self-inquiry. It's done each day, and simply by gently talking to yourself, you can create a more compassionate and forgiving connection to yourself, as well as gain insight and understanding. And so if you wanted to start this out and you're new to it, you could start by sitting or standing in front of a mirror, and you'll set a timer for about 5 minutes the first time. And you'll just hold a gentle eye gaze, gentle eye contact with yourself. And after this 5 minutes, I'm not going to wait 5 minutes for you guys to do this, but you can try it at home. After 5 minutes, just kind of notice how you feel. Make sure you stay with it the whole 5 minutes, and then just notice what arises or how you feel. Notice if there's, at first there's probably a sense of silliness there was for me, but is it just awkwardness? Or do you feel more uncomfortable, a little bit unsettled? Is it embarrassing for you to gaze at yourself? Do you feel emotional? Or is it something worse than that? Some folks move into feeling kind of self-loathing, or their inner critic is really like kind of self-criticizing them. Or do you just feel resistance to the whole exercise? So just kind of notice that. And so mirror work does have a tendency to expose our inner critic, the stuff that's going on behind the scenes, as well as our inner child, or those parts of us that we neglected and kind of they're vulnerable, kind of back down in there. So it can be useful for dealing with that, but just know that things can come up. And so if you are working with healing the inner child in mirror work time, then you might spend your time in front of the mirror. We usually will do on a daily basis, maybe 2 to 3 minutes, not 5. The 5 minutes is just to kind of get into it. But some folks do 10 minutes several times a day, so it's whatever works for you. But you'll set your timer, and if you're, as I said, working on the inner healing the inner child, then you might just spend your time saying comforting things to your inner child. Of course, you'll want to be saying things that resonate with you, but some examples might be something like, it's going to be okay, I've got you, or I'm here for you now and always, kind of thing. Now, if you're working more on changing a belief or behavior, you might spend your mirror time saying something like, I am willing to change. And you would just kind of repeat that. I am willing to change. I am willing to change. Or I am ready for change now. And you would make it something of your own, or there are, you can Google and look up different affirmations too if you don't want to create your own. Now, if you feel any resistance or hesitancy, or you don't want to change, then you might ask yourself why, or what's beneath this, or what's underlying this, and then just kind of find out what belief am I holding on to. So you'd move more into a self-inquiry there if something comes up to kind of block you. Another one is if you're working on manifesting things. I know a lot of folks are manifestors here. Then you can say something like, and you'll fill in the blank. So I deserve to have or to be, fill in the blank, now. And again, anytime you're doing a specific topic like manifesting, you'll notice how you feel as you're saying this. And if something comes up, or if you feel some kind of sensation in the body, then you might kind of move into the inquiry, like, oh, well, what is this all about? Or why is that happening, kind of thing. So some general tips for doing a daily mirror work practice is you want to use affirmations that are positive and in the present moment. The subconscious mind does not really get negative, so make sure they're framed positively, not like I will not do this, but I will do this is what you want. In the present, because if you're saying I will have, it's a sense of not having. So the subconscious mind is very tricky with that. So make sure it's present, positive, and that it really resonates with you. If you feel like it's something that you might want, but you don't feel any connection to it, then it's not going to work. I often use an example of with some of my clients here. If they, are wanting to create more money for themselves or more wealth or abundance, shall I say, I tell them they can look in the mirror all they want and say I'm a millionaire or a billionaire or whatever it is, but it's not really going to affect change. And in fact, the subconscious mind is going to say, no, you're not. So you want to say something like, I am open and available for more and more abundance in my life. Something like that makes sense. And so you also want to do this for about 2 to 3 minutes on average. Like I said, make it your own. You want to do it privately so you can be genuine. And you want to be mindful and curious, just allowing anything that shows up to be there. And then journal anything that is noteworthy so that you can further process later on. So for a general daily practice, you'll want to make the commitment to yourself. Choose the best time of day for you, and then choose to create your affirmations. Some general ones might be something like, I'm learning to love you. I am the author of my own story. I am open and receptive to change, things like that. And so you'd be choosing your time, committing to yourself, taking your affirmation, repeating your affirmation with feeling while you're looking at yourself in the mirror, and just embracing whatever does show up. And then something that can be nice to do is should strong emotion or anything kind of strong arise, you might even place a hand on your heart because it kind of grounds you. It also helps to remind you to be open and receptive to whatever is there and come from a place of love. And then you will want to journal anything, again, that's noteworthy. Some folks like to journal every day. I just journal noteworthy things, but whatever floats your boat on that. And then knowing that mirror work itself is going to strengthen your connection to yourself. It can reveal core beliefs, values. It can aid you in overcoming insecurities. It helps with confidence and self-assuredness. It can help with self-love, self-compassion, and self-forgiveness as well. And it really helps us to become aware of the way we talk to ourselves and treat ourselves. So it's good for self-care and self-love. So thank you for being here for Mindful Monday. If you have any future topics you'd like to have us cover, please feel free to message us. Make it a great one.